This is my partner, adventure cameraman Lee Green. Here he's learning about the ancient Japanese science of Aikido. I'm pitch hitting for Lee, as he gave me the story by overseas telephone, because at this moment he's on assignment in Quemoy. With him in Tokyo was his companion and friend, Herman Jessen. Here's Lee's story as he would tell it to you himself. My friend and partner, adventure cameraman Lee Green. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and the start of a busy day for Herman and me in Tokyo. I want to look into Aikido and see if there's an adventure show for us. And at 10 o'clock, we're scheduled to film the grand opening of the new television tower. This is a 70-yen cab, which means that you ride 1.33 miles for the equivalent of about 18 cents. And incidentally, you don't tip in Japan. You really get a ride for your money. There are 3 classes of cabs in Tokyo. The 60 yen, which seem to be piloted by stunt drivers, the 70 yen by racing car drivers, and the few 80 yen cabs by surviving and retired members of the first 2 groups. Jaywalkers in Tokyo live dangerously, but the less agile obey the traffic signals. Face masks are a common sight all over Japan. If you have a cold, you wear one. In spite of my tight schedule, I enjoy the ride, and soon we're watching activity of another sort. This is the exercise room of the Aikido school. The young men in white shirts and black pantaloons are instructors. The other boys are students. To Herman and me, this looks like a cross between jiu-jitsu and tumbling. The instructors handle themselves extremely well. But I wonder how they'd do if this were a rough and tumble instead of an exercise. Now watch these two. Everything happens too darn easily. I'm sure the fellow doing the falling is cooperating with the man doing the throwing. It's interesting enough to watch, but I don't think it's adventurous enough for my series. Besides, I've got a date with the tower. On the way, I steal one shot of the entrance to Meiji Park. And here's our 60 yen cab arriving at the new TV tower. The tower has a 5-story building at its base, an observation platform about 650 feet up, and the top of its antenna is 1,150 feet above the street, 50 feet higher than the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Herman and I get our press passes, and the dedication begins with a religious ceremony. This ceremony has a particular significance today, as the dedication of the tower is taking place on the birthday of the well-loved Crown Prince of Japan. They seem to have learned their lesson from Hollywood, all right. Miss TV of 1959 cuts the ribbon, flashbulbs go off, and tomorrow all Japan will be barraged with publicity about this great event. And it is a great event. The tower is a cooperative enterprise with 2 commercial television stations and 1 educational television station sharing the facilities. press passes give us permission to photograph Tokyo from the catwalk. And what a sight it is. From this tower, giant cameras will be able to bring all of Tokyo in close-up to television viewers within 100 miles. Baseball games at Tokyo Stadium, 8 miles away, can be photographed from here and brought into close-up range. Traffic tie-ups or special events within a 20-mile radius can be televised from cameras located on this tower. Back in the observation platform, our camera is hard at work. This is downtown Tokyo, looking toward the bay. Herman and I are having a wonderful time. But I've got to get my pictures back to the States. So down we go. 8 million people in Tokyo, and I think 7 million of them are here today. Herman and I have worked crowds before, and we agreed if we got separated to meet at the newsstand at the foot of the tower. When I find him there, he's browsing in a book about Aikido. If the pictures tell the story that I think they do, we missed the whole point of Aikido this morning. We missed meeting Mr. Ueshiba. The book cost 300 yen, almost $1. But it proved to be my passport to a real adventure. On its threshold was Mr. Ueshiba, the patriarch of Aikido. This science was founded by Yoshimitsu Minamoto in the year 1120 and was handed down in his family for generations. It was taken over then by the Takeda family. And here is a legitimate successor of the art, Mr. Morihei Ueshiba.
What year was Aikido founded?
I study this frail old man and think how he must miss the strength and vigor of his youth.
About 50 years ago.
Mr. Tohei, I wonder if we might, without offending Mr. Ueshiba, inquire as to how old he is.
No, at this side is 80 years old.
Wonder if you could inquire of Mr. Ueshiba how many students he has trained.
As he talks, I realize that Aikido is more than an exercise, a sport. It is a religion, a way of life.
About 100,000.
It's my understanding that in the instruction of training of Aikido, it is not just a physical routine or a sport or a means of defense, but a training of the mind.
That's right.
Ask him if he would briefly tell me about the circle over there.
Yes. Teacher said every circle has a center. And if has not a center, cannot make circle.